Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 401 for the 31st of March. And the breaking news, Russia have surrendered, Ukraine have also surrendered. They decided to make peace and keys. That's all for the summary. No, just joking. So, yeah, because it's April Fool's Day, right? So, let's start off with, of course, as usual, Bakhmut. The city of Bakhmut, the latest information, there's not a lot of information over the past 24 hours, but we do have some progress by the WAGNER private military contractors. Previously, the front line is actually something like this, and the WAGNER forces or Russian forces have moved further. They have managed to capture even more ground, capturing this area here. So this, I believe some of these buildings here are high rises. It is actually mentioned by Ryba as controlling a number of high-rise buildings, and this is also reported by Surya Maps of the same information as he maps this part as under Russian control. So the progress through the city is going to be very slow, as all these buildings, you can see that it's all high rise and it's all big buildings. It's going to take, one by one. It's going to take forever. It's going to take a long time to conquer the entire of Bakhmut if Ukrainian forces continue to reinforce and to make it as hard as possible for the Russian forces. And if they are able to continue to reinforce, then Bakhmut is going to be being fought over for a very, very long time. There's no information about the fighting in the north. There is fighting in the north, but we don't have a particular source to talk about over here. Fighting is reported near Kromove, according to Marinka, the pro-Ukrainian source, and over at the southwest, Ryba mentioned the expansion of the control zone around the Vuhledar Canal area, which is actually this area here, this district around here. The difference in terms of front line is that along the Kosonskogo Street, the front line previously was something like this. There is some kind of expansion of the Russian control around this area of the street, the street around here. This is based on the Ryba's mapping. Of course, take it with a pinch of salt. As you can see, the Ukrainian mapping remains the same. I did not change much around this area here. And there's also fighting reported at Ivanytsky, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. According to Surya Maps, the Ukrainian forces actually counter-attack, capturing this area here, in the counter-attack in this area. But we already have mapped this in, as this area here is actually already mapped by Deep State UA as under Ukrainian control. So there isn't really a change in terms of the DPA's mapping. So in terms of the Ivanytsky attack, we have been talking a lot about the Ivanytsky of fighting at Ivanytsky, but there's actually no clear indication where the fighting actually exists. Is it here, is it here, or is it here, or here? Nobody know where it is. So yeah, just take it with a pinch of salt. And in the northwest of Bakhmut city, we have the geolocation of Russian forces in this area. This continues to confirm the WAGNER or the Russian forces is actually still in this area here. Previously, we have a geolocation. I think it's here, or is it here? So yeah, the front line remains more or less the same, with the Ukrainians continue to hold the entire town of Vuhledar. Fighting is reported here according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. And moving on further up north, we do not have fighting around all these areas except towards Minkivka. According to Marinka, the pro-Ukrainian source, he's the only one that talked about this alleged Russian push towards Minkivka. It's not mentioned by anyone else, so the information is getting a bit scarce. I think the Russian forces is also undergoing some kind of reorganization or resupply or rotation of sort. It's just a feeling that I get. And moving away from the Bakhmut front, we go to Avdiivka Front. At the Avdiivka Front, we have fighting reported in the forest region near Novobakhmutivka, according to Ryba. And the Ukrainian Defense Ministry also mentioned there's fighting around this area. The forest region probably is this one or probably this area here. Is unclear. where the fighting is going on around Novobakhmutivka. The fighting around Krasnohorivka and Stapove is not mentioned. There is fighting reported at Avdiivka. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, we have no idea where the fighting actually is. I don't think the Russians are holding any line near here. I'm not even sure if they are in the forest line around here. So, no idea what's happening around here now. Moving on, we have fighting reported at Pervomaisky according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, but we have no details in terms of what is happening as well. And moving away from Avdiivka Front, we go to where should we go to next? Kreminna Front. At the Kreminna Front, we have fighting reported at Makievka near Shevonopopivka, Dibrova, and the Serebransky Forestry and Bilohorivka. And we go into details. We have this information mostly reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry on Bilohorivka, Serebransky Forestry, Dibrova, Shevonopopivka, as well as Makievka. Basically, everything is reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. The Russian Defense Ministry only mentioned shelling near Dibrova. So this is the only thing that we know of in terms of the Kreminna Front. Moving on to the Marinka region, we have fighting reported in Marinka. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, they highlight that they defended 20 different attacks by the Russian forces at Marinka. So, not sure how do they count, but yeah. So, and then Novobakhmutivka also received shelling report according to the Russian Defense Ministry. There is shelling also at Vuhledar according to the Russian Defense Ministry. There is some Ukrainian counteroffensive in the southern area, but the location is not mentioned. So basically, I can't map it. Over at Temerivka, this is starting to become a graveyard for Ukrainian helicopters, and yet another Ukrainian helicopter had been shot down over Temerivka. Ukrainian Mi-24, basically a Hind attack helicopter, gets shot down over Temerivka by the Book SAM system, and maybe it's time for them to not go from this direction to try to fire upon Russian positions, perhaps. Maybe use something like the ion cannon, nuclear missiles. And over at the rest of the Zaporizhia line, we do not have any information of any offensive or fighting. Peace have returned to Zaporizhia. Not true. They are still having a lot of shelling monks running all over the place. And moving on to the next front, we have not yet covered is the Siversk area, which is fighting at Bilohorivka. We have already mentioned this. Nothing else around here. And then going to the Kupiansk front, we have shelling being reported at Berestove, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, as well as at Sinkivka, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. There's no ground offensive being reported or ground operations being reported around this region. And that's all from the Kupiansk front. And this is a pretty short SITREP. So thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe if you are not subscribed. Happy April Fool's Day. And not sure it's happy. Usually I find it very irritating because I get duped by a lot of false information. But this time around it's alright because I know that it's April Fool earlier on. And Moscow has fallen. The Ukrainian forces have captured it, and I'll see you in the next update.